I have time for one more comment or question. Yes, sir.
Can I speak to that quickly, though? One of the things that's interesting about that this is where the professor in me comes out. I've indicated to students, and this is a fact of my experience, that seeing an image projected in a two-dimensional format and then seeing that actual image, I've never had that second experience without my opinion changing. So I've really impressed upon them that it's important to, maybe you can edit down with the two-dimensional format, but never totally discount the opportunity to see it face to face. The other thing is, there are some wonderful images being made that are digital.
Yes.
And I don't want to discount that either. And I just think it's important to know that there are multiple levels of experiences that we can have, and one doesn't necessarily discount the other. I just know that we are in a global culture now, and the glue to that global culture is that technology.
Yes, sir.
Randall, I appreciate your emphasis on the community, and for me that's a big part of going to museums is the social experience, being with my wife, going with Tony, going with just a small handful of friends and talking about what we see and interacting. The times at our gallery here where we have receptions and there's a whole group of people and we're milling around and looking and talking, and it seems to me that's an aspect lost when I just have butt time by myself in front of the screen. And it seems to me that's a huge drawing part for the museums as well. You know, I would think that, and it seems to me that's what you're showing us as well. And isn't that part of the future of museums? I hope so. And also I think another part of the community is not simply where I am interacting with a friend, a couple of friends, and it's a social time together, experiencing this together in community, but there's also a sense of community when I see the community of artists who have interacted, you know, not through the long sweep of history, oh, that's fun as well to see that, but in the last 50 years, 60 years, and I see them one bouncing off the other. I don't get that off of a search as easy as I see when I can see it in a couple of rooms. Isn't that one of the aspects of the museum that is attractive and has a future as well?
Absolutely, I agree with that completely, and I think to attempt to put some words from my perspective on that, I think when I'm working as a person creating 3D objects and I have a relationship with a screen or a physical model, I find myself being able to quickly consume relatively shallow information on screen, but I feel myself having a complete emotive experience with a tangible object because my mind is trained to understand three-dimensional space, not a 2D representation of that space, etc. And I think that kind of wonderful moment that Amelia talked about earlier today, and where someone can actually be moved to tears, it's pretty hard to do that at a computer screen. I haven't done it yet, but I've often done it with an object, and I think that just that way of the human psyche and emotion being a part of it, together with the social experience of interacting with others that are knowledgeable and where respect exists between folks, is a huge part of it. Yeah.
So in closing, I'm going to speak very briefly from some ideas of David Carr from his book, The Promise of Cultural Institutions, which I highly recommend to all of you who are interested in this topic. The great cultural institutions are formative and collaborative. Art can counter chaos. Memory, history, and stories can embolden us to embrace uncertainty, to help us fathom and survive it. The art of the informing institution lies in the design of structure and the practices that lead to reflection and nurture change, one mind at a time. The great institution thinks with, of, and for the lives of others, and is always prepared to rescue its users, always ready to connect life with life. Perhaps that is what you are building with the new Adams Center. I want to thank the panelists once again for taking the time from their very busy schedules to reflect with us upon the value and the meaning of art museums in the 21st century. I'm particularly pleased to be here in a liberal arts college where I think the deepest thinking can occur, where I am particularly appreciative of the intersection of religion and art that the students think about and work with at Westmont. It is always at the intersection of the disciplines where the most interesting work occurs. Thank you all very much. We'll reconvene in about 10 minutes.